Well, that's a way to open up a service, huh? Wow, thanks you guys. Good morning, everyone. I can say for the first time in 2 years, happy Mardi Gras Sunday here at Faith United Church of Christ. Good morning, everyone. I wonder if you will join me in our call to worship to kick this service off. We celebrate that where people are gathered together in love, God is present and good things happen and life is full. We celebrate that we are immersed in mystery, that our lives are more than they seem. That we belong to each other and to a universe of great creative energies whose source and destiny is God. We celebrate that the Spirit of God beat in the heart of Jesus of Nazareth. And God's good news was heard by the broken and the wounded. We are glad that the Spirit of peace is present with us, the church, as we gather to celebrate our common existence and the ever-present nature of God. And most deeply, we believe that in our struggle to love, we incarnate God in the world. And so aware of mystery and wonder, caught in friendship and laughter, we become speechless before the joy in our hearts as we celebrate the sacredness of life. Well, why don't we rise up in body or spirit now and gather ourselves in with a beautiful hymn, Gather Us In. Please be seated. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, folks here in person and all of our community that is online with us. It's delightful to have you with us. If you are visiting with us, first time, second time, third time, we are delighted to have you with us both in person and online. If you're in person, go ahead and sign our friendship book, which you keep in the gathering space. We keep you apprised of all the happenings here If you're online, just send a note to Faith UCC. What was our website address again? Office. I got Mardi Gras on my mind. office@faithucc.org, and we'll get you on that mailing list as well. And if you're online with us, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and like our channel. That helps us immensely. And if you're on Facebook, go ahead and share our service so we can get it out, spread it out farther than these walls, way out into the hinterlands of the website universe, whatever you call that. Do us that favor. That's great. Hey, a couple announcements, things going on here. Mardi Gras today, you know that. I think we have more crock pots out there than people, what I was seeing. So I hope you are ready. Hope you're ready to eat today, my friends, and get out there. We've got margaritas, we've got non-alcoholic sodas and things like that, and a lot of good food. I think the sandwich line starts in here, right? In the gathering space? I mean, the gathering space. Yep, so kind of come, as you head on out of here singing When All the Saints Go Marching In, just head on down and you get a sandwich. You can head outside. We got lots of seating. You can eat inside. There's bistro tables in the back if it's too hot out there for you. We have lots of opportunities. So let's just make it a great dang day. We need one of those, don't we? Yes! Next week, Legacy, next Saturday, the 3 next Saturdays, the Legacy Project Join the Conversation. We'll be meeting. If you are interested in signing up for any of those 3 Saturdays or the last Sunday as well, there's a little add-on piece, important add-on piece. There's a clipboard going around. Julie has it right there, so.
I'll have it in the back.
Okay, perfect.
On your way out.
Great. So sign up, talk to them about what that is. And
We've got 16 slots open based on the amount of books we still have.
great, okay.
So,
16 more.
and you don't need to be a member of the church
Yeah.
to sign up.
Yeah, you don't need to be a member.
Family, friends, whoever else.
Yep, that's great. Don't need to be a member. You can participate in anything here. So talk to Julie or anyone if you're interested in that. Next Sunday, March 6th, we have a racial justice event here. It's going to be a screening of a documentary called An American Story, Race, Amity, and the Other Tradition. There'll be a couple facilitators here leading the conversation afterwards. And we do need you to sign up for that as well. Sign up sheet Sunday, I tell you. Clipboard's going around because they're going to order sandwiches for that, so there'll be some food and then a powerful presentation and video shown after that. So please sign up if you're interested in that. And we have a special announcement because this is International Women's Month, right? Yes, it is. Coming up. So we have an announcement by Elizabeth Cohn for International Women's Day.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see ya. Can you imagine International Women's Day has been taking place for over 100 years? Woohoo! The 2022 theme to commemorate International Women's Day is Break the Bias. It is to clarify that men and women are not opposites, but equal. God bless you. But equal. And when we call equals, it means equal in every domain. God bless you again. The race is on for gender equal boardroom, a gender equal government, gender equal media coverage, gender equal workplaces, gender equal sports coverage and compensation, and gender equality in health and wealth. On Tuesday, March 8th at 12:30 p.m., the Faith UCC Anam-Car's Women's Circle will host our IWD 2022 gathering in the gathering space. The event will include the Wall of Women display that will be going up soon, music by the talented dulcimer ensemble, including our own Sandy Whitman. We'll have art, videos, refreshments, including mimosas, and a special program that highlights one theme of breaking the bias, and I'll be one of the presenters. All church members, men and women, are invited to this event. We ask that you register on the sign-up sheet in the back table so we can adequately plan for food and beverages. Did I mention we're serving mimosas? As well as other food and non-alcoholic beverages. I'm sure you'll leave this exciting event with your arms crossed in solidarity for the Break the Bias campaign. Again, join us on Tuesday, March 8th at 12:30 p.m. in the gathering space. Hope to see you all there. And remember, men are invited as well. Thank you so much.
God bless you online too.
Gesundheit online as well. Okay, good. We have like 3 sign-up sheets going around here. This is amazing. Hey, and before we go into some concerns and joys, the most important event of the year is coming up. I was just reminded by Ivan this morning. The NCAA men's and women's basketball tournament brackets are coming out in 2 weeks. Watch for information in the newsletter this week. And we want to get as you know what we do. It's $5 a board, but it's not gambling, because the winner, whoever picks the board, gets to pick what ministry they want that money to go to at Faith UCC. Put it to the Garden Project, you can put it to racial justice, whatever you want. So it behooves you to get some skin in that game and get a couple boards filled out. So let's see how many we can get this year. Watch for more information on that to
Can we do
come.
online registration for that?
I don't know if we're that sophisticated. We'll look into that, Brian. A couple concerns. Please hold Gwen Lane in your hearts and prayers. Cynthia's mom, who's a longtime member here, her and her husband Gil. Gwen is in the hospital with several infections and having a hard time right now, struggling. So we hold Gwen and Gil and all of you, Cynthia, in our hearts and prayers in this time. And also continue to hold Barb Campbell in your hearts and prayers. Barb she's at home under home hospice. And probably, I think there was a 30-day prognosis at one point. I don't know if that still stands or not, but she's in pain and she's hurting, so it's hard to see her that way. So just hold her and her family in your hearts and prayers, and also hold Janet Stout in your hearts and prayers. She was hospitalized with some health issues, and now she's at home with her sons being taken care of through their care, and has some home care coming in. But she's going through a pretty tough time as well. So hold all of them in your hearts and prayers. And Robbie's with us today. We had a wonderful celebration for Jim McIntosh last Sunday, and Robbie, we hold you and your family in our hearts and prayers in this time of grief. Let us know how we can support you. Those are concerns. Got a couple joys here. Lee and Anita Harrington. It is a joy that Anita's brother Russell Dixon has retired from the Columbus, Indiana Fire Department after 34 years. Wow, and is with us today in the house. Russell, raise your hand. Also visiting once again at the church is Anita's sister, Terry Gateskill. Did I get that right? Gateskill? Who served as a nurse for over 50 years in Cincinnati, Ohio. So we welcome all of you to be with us today. Congratulations on your retirement. That's exciting. Another thing I really want to lift up a joy. I, for the first time, got Wordle on my second chance today. Has anybody ever gotten it on the first? Anybody? No? You got it on the first try? That's, whoa, that is just luck. Wow. Curdle? Cordle? Oh, I can't hardly handle Wordle, let alone Curdle. There's a sermon in Wordle, I think, most definitely. Finally, a final joy I want to lift up. Jan Goodwin is 80 years old today. Tomorrow. Let's sing to all of you with birthdays and anniversaries. This is for you. Happy birthday, Jan. Lori?
My friend Linda's here. She's a joy.
Lori's friend Linda is here. Welcome, Linda. We are glad to have you here. Got a few family visiting. Go ahead, Dan.
My brother Jim and his wife Jane Ann are here from Tallahassee. They're avid cyclists.
All right. Brother Jim and Jane Ann here from Tallahassee. Welcome. Our family come out and celebrate with us today. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? What a great day. We got to just slow it down. I'm going to talk about Ukraine. Oh, go ahead, Chuck.
Spoke to Ellery this morning. He's really missing being here, but they're playing it safe. So he always dresses up wild.
Ellery and Cliff, I know you're online right now watching. We want you back here. What do we got to do? Get down and grovel to get you back here? Willing to do that? Just talked to the elderly last week as well. They're doing well, taking the precautions they need to take, but we sure do miss you guys. Especially, Cliff, your jambalaya today. Really, really missing that jambalaya. So, miss you guys. I'll talk about Ukraine in a bit in my sermon, because I know that's something that's on all of your minds, on all of our minds. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But I wonder if you just have a moment of centering with me, and just a prayer from John Philip Newell. Always celebrating life. He does that so well. I take a few breaths, my friends. And present moment, beautiful moment. We're together again. We're celebrating the good things in life, even with the things that aren't so good popping around us. Hear these words from John Philip Newell. All things are born of you, O God. We carry within us your light and your life. In the mystery of matter and deep in the cells of our souls are your longings for oneness. The oneness of the universe, vast and vibrating with the sound of its beginning. The oneness of the earth, greening and teeming as a single body. The oneness of the human soul, a sacred countenance in infinite form. Grant us your longings for oneness, O God, amidst life's glorious multiplicities. Let us journey ever deeper into this heart of this time of worship together.
Our reading today comes from the prophet Micah, chapter 4, verses 3 through 5. Listen as Micah, amidst the background of terrible times, speaks of a vision of hope and beauty. What can he say to us today? Someday, many nations will come and say, "Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the temple of the God of Jacob. He will teach us his ways, so that we may walk in his paths. The law will go out from Zion, the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. He will judge between many peoples and will settle disputes for strong nations far and wide. They will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will not take up sword against nation, nor will they train for war anymore. Everyone will sit under their own vine and under their own fig tree, and no one will make them afraid. For the Lord Almighty has spoken. All the nations may walk in the name of their gods, but we will walk in the name of the Lord our God forever and ever."
So I chose our scripture text from the Older Testament book of the prophet Micah because with all we're watching unfold in Ukraine, on the news, and from our social media, it just seemed to be one of the most relevant passages of Scripture there possibly could be for this time, maybe other than, blessed are the peacemakers, and hopefully we have some peacemakers. As we watch with great fear and anxiety as a superpower throws all it has, a corrupt superpower, throws all it has militarily to a nation much less powerful, attempting to crush their will and kill so many today in Ukraine. The story reverberates way back to another time. This text is about in 700 BCE when a much more powerful Assyrian Empire was subjecting its own will in its own time upon a much less vulnerable nation. This is Israel. Now, in and around the year 722, the Assyrians waged war and completely obliterated Samaria, Israel's capital, killing many and exiling many others as well. And they too, like the Russians today, had a kill list of who they wanted to kill and imprison. And unfortunately, it's a story that has repeated itself since that time over and over, right up to this day, to this very moment, to this time with the Ukrainian people. But let's hope that just this time, with the determination and unseemingly unbreakable will of the Ukrainian people and the outrage from the rest of the world, let's hope that this one ends a lot differently than others have in the past. Now, most scholars believe it was in the midst of the violence and death that Micah was active as a prophet, speaking of the impending doom of Israel at that time at the hands of the Assyrians and later to other kingdoms or cities in Judah. He was lamenting the situation. He was angry over it and for the greed of his people that he believed was causing all of this pain. For Micah, the attack in his nation was a result of God's anger at the way people were acting. I guess that's one way to explain the terrible situation. So he spoke words of anger, fire and anger to his people, harsh words of condemnation. But he then also spoke beautiful words of hope. And he held visions like we heard today of nations settling their disputes in peaceful ways and weapons being turned into tools for farming, tools that gave life rather than tools that ended it. He spoke of nations no longer taking up the sword against other nations and of no nations studying for war no more, as the saying goes, right? He spoke of hope. Even amidst the chaos and the violence that he was witnessing around him, he dared to dream of a better world, even when that world seemed so long and far away. He dared He dared to look at the realities around him and say, this is not how it's supposed to be, and that there are good days, better days coming. And he trusted that as true, and he wrote about it. He spoke about it, and he wrote about it. Sometimes the Bible just gets it right, doesn't it? Sometimes the Bible meets us right where we are in our lives. Usually not, but sometimes. Sometimes it does, and today's text is just one such time. For we too have to trust that with all the chaos and the death and the divisiveness that seems to be all around us, we have to trust as well that there is hope that can be seen, that there is hope that we'll trust that will come and find us. And I don't know about you, but I'm finding such hope in the people of Ukraine right now. Oh my God, they're standing up to a warmonger bully, and they're pushing right back at him with such an iron will. Or in a leader like Zelensky, that when asked to flee the country, he said, I don't need a ride. I need ammunition, because the fight is right here. He's shoulder to shoulder defending his people. What a hero. And I'm not glorifying violence, but sometimes people just have to make a stand, right? Right where they are. Ecclesiastes, there's a time for war and there's a time for peace. And I will still pray for javelin missiles to be turned into sculptures. But that's not where they are right now, and a people is rising up. I find such hope in that. I find hope in almost the entire world. The entire world has galvanized, seemingly come together with the blues and the yellows of the Ukrainian flag popping up all over the place. This is a bridge in Minneapolis, the I-35W bridge. I've seen another one in Jacksonville. All sorts of places are being lit up. I've got Ukrainian colored beads on right now, thanks to Michelle. So I find hope in those. And I find hope in pictures of the Ukrainians caring for one another, sheltering one another, and feeding one another, and tending to one another's needs on trains or in bomb shelters. And just on the way, as many try to just escape and flee the violence, there are things that we need to look for, things of hope in these unsettled and scary times where it just seems like World War III could break out at any moment, right? In fact, I heard a commentator, several really, over the last couple days, even one driving here this morning, say this is the closest we've ever been to the potential of a nuclear weapon, closer than even the Bay of Pigs, closer than any other time for a weapon to be launched. And I thought, yeah, okay. We can choose to linger in that kind of fear and take that into ourselves with all of the anxiety that is going to be produced within us, and we can choose to live in fear. Or I thought we can choose hope. That perhaps what we are seeing in the support and solidarity around the world, and with what we are seeing in the will of the Ukrainian people, that maybe we are closer instead to a pivot point, from maybe away from this kind of madness. Maybe rather than World War III and a nuclear missile launch, we are closer to a pivot more towards Micah's dream of peace and solidarity for all people. A real time when we aren't actually spending $800 billion in military dollars, right? For more weapons, because we won't need them anymore. Something's happening right now. Do you feel it? I hope you do. I've always been a half glass full guy. So why not? So I'm holding on to the hope that we're in a different kind of a time. And there's a pivot that's about to happen. I'll quote a guy I never thought I would quote in a sermon. Former Tea Party congressman turned centrist Joe Walsh. Who, while I was writing this, I think it's funny, David? You didn't think you'd ever hear that in one of my sermons either, did you? He's actually on Twitter, he's pretty good. I gotta admit, not everything, but he tweeted out, Ukrainians are fighting back, the Russians are speaking out, and the rest of the free world is defending Ukraine. This is not how it was supposed to go, but it's how it's going now. And the world has risen up. And that could still change, but we have to choose hope that it's not. Because to choose anxiety and fear is just to give up. to give in to those who want us to wallow in that kind of stuff. No, sir, Micah didn't. And no, sir, I'm not going to either. I'm going to choose hope. How about you? Will you choose hope? Yes. Say it with me. I choose hope. 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 I just feel better just saying that. Get out of here, anxiety. Get out of here, fear. It's like when that pastor in Kenneth Copeland blew the COVID virus. Just why that just popped into my head. Just get out, you cast you out, COVID-19. We cast you out, anxiety and fear. You're the devil. Okay, it's Mardi Gras. We can do this, yes? I cast you out. I've always wanted to say that from a pulpit. It's kind of good. I cast you out, anxiety. I cast you out, fear. I cast you out, Satan. Oh my God. Cathartic. Fran's just shaking her head. She's like, I apologize, Kenneth Copeland. I shouldn't have done that. It's not just across the seas in Ukraine where we have to have hope, but God dang it, right here in our own backyard as well. I'm thinking especially of House Bill 1557. Otherwise known as the Don't Say Gay bill. It passed the House this past week, and the Florida Senate will soon, no doubt, pass a similar bill, Senate Bill 1834, and the governor has already said, I'll sign that bill. I so want to. Can't go there. Where was I? Oh my. So the governor's going to sign that bill, and the Don't Say Gay bill will become law in the state of Florida, preventing teachers and school administrators from discussing anything to do with gender, especially anything with LGBT plus in it's name, in its identity, in schools until an appropriate age. But you know what that means? It's open to interpretation, discretion, right? And for some, we know there's never going to be an appropriate age. So it's really just a way to shun and keep kids in the closet who are LGBT plus. Maddening, isn't it? According to a local executive director of a national LGBT youth advocacy group, she said this law would erase LGBT plus history and culture from lesson plans, and it sends a chilling message to LGBT plus young people and communities, end quote. And there was in this bill, and folks, and let me tell you, there's 170 of these bills out there nationwide right now? It's growing up from like 50 from last year. But there was an amendment added into this bill, maybe you might have seen it, that would have required school counselors, teachers, administration folks, janitors, fellow students to out students who are LGBT to their parents within the span of 5 weeks or suffer consequences. That was stripped out, but most believe it was simply put in there to remove it later to make the bill more palatable for those that are lawmakers that were on the fence. This is a sick and hurtful pending law that will lead, according to many, will lead to more LGBT teen depression and suicide. According to a national poll done by Trevor Project, 42% of LGBT teens seriously considered suicide last year. 42%. And now this. Oh, and for any teachers that try to ignore this new pending law and teach history, including history that includes LGBT history, which is American history, well, they can be sued by parents for damages, attorney's fees, and court costs. What a terrible thing to do to kids and families that are already struggling in so many ways. But even here in the madness, in this madness and brutality in our very own state, Micah comes screaming at us again to keep the faith, to have hope, to envision a better future. That's why I almost cry tears every time I drive down Pinehurst and I clear that tree line and get past those trees, and the first thing I see is that rainbow flag, a symbol of kind of hope and peace that Micah was talking about long ago. It's just shining in the sun, it's waving in the Florida breeze, and it's right across the street from a high school. I think about LGBT kids going to Dunedin High School, right across the street, and I think what they have to endure, and now being made more to endure in such hateful ways. And I imagine at them looking across the street here at us and seeing that flag, knowing there's a place that reminds them that they are beloved children of God for being just who they were born to be. To remind them that there's a place that will welcome them with open arms, that there's a place that will speak out on their behalf, that there's a place that can be a protective shelter against the waves of discrimination that are coming at them as their history is being denied, as their stories are being buried, as their books are being banned, as their lives are now soon to be illegal to talk about. In this sick culture of ravenous judgment and damaging cruelty and denial, what hope that symbol shines across the street from a high school for all the kids that will look out and see it. I hope that we'll see more places across from schools putting up rainbow flags so all the kids see when they leave those doors, those colorful, beautiful colors waving and shining like a light in the darkness for them. And that can give them a sense of hope. So we can push back against this law in color, and it will be beautiful. There's hope in that. Now, speaking of beautiful colors, I know it is Mardi Gras Sunday, a day of celebration, and celebrate we will in just a bit. But the realities of today cannot go unaddressed, because I know so many of you are feeling great pain and anxiety right now over these and other issues. There's just so much, and I've had more calls to just talk, to just sit and talk, because things are just so heavy, I think, than I ever have. And it's obvious that these times are wearing on so many of you, but we cannot lose hope. We can't give up. We can't give in to the crushing weight of anxiety that you feel alone. We can't give in to that you're not with others in this world. Now, we're in this together. And we'll keep being a place that dreams the dreams of the great prophet Micah from long ago, even in the most trying of times, there's still hope. There's still a future of goodness. And that, like the people of Ukraine, there are things worth fighting for. And just to remind us that we're not alone. So let's get mad right now. We're mad, right? We're angry. And let's own that we are. And let's say it's okay to be angry at the things that are going on. That's what we're doing now. But then we got to go outside. We need to shift our tone, my friends, and go outside and just share the stories of our lives with one another. Just be a community that says, even in the darkest of times, you know what we do? We feast. Even in the scariest of times, you know what we do? We find joy. And even in the most divisive of times, we find life in togetherness. And through it all, a spirit of hope will lead the way. So to shift you into a different mode now, keep that anger. We'll need it later. We got to have work to do. But first, I want to get you with some Mardi Gras trivia. Who was the person most responsible for throwing beads out at Mardi Gras? Was it the first Carnival King Rex, the mayor of New Orleans, or Santa Claus? Who thinks A? Who thinks the Carnival King Rex? Who thinks the mayor of New Orleans? Who thinks Santa Claus? Santa Claus wins. And it's a real story. A man dressed in a Santa Claus outfit was the first one remembered for throwing beads. Gotcha! Boom! Before COVID-19 pandemic, when was the most recent cancellation of New Orleans Mardi Gras parades? 1917, 1945, or 1968? 1945, you got it. What does purple signify during Mardi Gras? Royalty, justice, or passion? Justice, you got it. What does green signify during Mardi Gras? Does it signify faith, humility, or wealth? Faith. I got you with the green. Wealth, green. It means faith. Now, what does gold signify during Mardi Gras? Wealth, extravagance, or power? Power. Ukraine right now, power. Carnival, a couple more. Carnival comes from the Latin phrase carnival, which means what? It literally means carnival, colorful clothing, or farewell to meat. Which one do you think it is? It's farewell to meat. And finally, this one's going to test some of you. Where was the first Mardi Gras parade held in the United States? Baton Rouge, Louisiana, New Orleans, Mobile, Alabama, or Dunedin, Florida? Mobile, Alabama. I'll see you outside. We're going to have another movement for Ukraine in a bit. We're going to weave it around the pastoral prayer and sing a beautiful version of Finlandia. But then we're going to go outside and celebrate, and I look forward to seeing you all outside. Amen.
I sing
guys happy? Couldn't tell. Yes, I am. Oh, I wonder if you'll join me in a more intentional moment of centering ourselves in prayer. As we journey into this time, let us first do so with a sense of gratitude. Oh God, we give you thanks for the breath of a new day and a chance to meet another day with courage and peace and hope. And give thanks for a sense of awe and wonder, for the presence of loved ones and the memories of loved ones past. The beautiful gift of diversity. Of course, for a shared meal together, Mardi Gras, for the opportunity to celebrate. For all of this and more, oh God, we give thanks this day. We're also standing in a spirit of presence with those who are struggling with illness and surgeries and pain, and presence with those who are wrestling with addictions, and presence for those who are alone or who feel lonely. For presence in the hard times, in the good times, in all times. For presence, let us pray this day. Finally, O God, we stand in a spirit of hope. Hope for those who are suffering from poverty and homelessness, and hope for those seeking new life and new lands to call home. Hope for Ukraine and its people, its leaders and its defenders. And hope that the prophet Micah's words about nations finding peace, weapons being forged into tools for life, and a world that truly studies no more, war no more. For all of this and more, we stand in a spirit of hope and a spirit of prayer, especially for the people of Ukraine. I wonder if you'll join me now in singing a beautiful version of Finlandia. It's 3 verses before we say the Lord's Prayer. These came from Sojourners and were written for times just like this. We can just stay seated. Dedicate this to Ukraine. Sing that for Ukraine this day. Will you join me in the Lord's Prayer? Loving Creator, we honor you, and we honor all that you have made. Renew the whole world in the image of your love. Give us what we need for today, and a hunger to see the whole world fed with peace. Strengthen us for what lies ahead. Heal us from the hurts of the past. Give us courage to follow your call in this moment. For your love is the only power, the only home, the only honor we need in this world and in the world to come. Amen. Beautiful words. I just want to say, before we do go out and feast here, I just want to say thank you for your continued generosity. All of your support to this church means that we can be a place that flies a rainbow flag across from a high school and a beacon of hope in a world that just always just wants to pull itself into some kind of darkness. I don't get it. Hope those days are changing. We have some much better days ahead. Trust that we do. And your giving to support this place helps that become a reality. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We do have plates at the back. If you're visiting with us, or like I say, always got a big lump of cash in your pocket, weighing down your pants, and you're like, I got to loosen this up. But you can put it in the, in the things in the back, the plates in the back. But thank you for your incredible generosity. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We need to sing our traditional song for peace. So we're going to do that. We're going to rise up and body and spirit sing that. And then immediately after, we're going to go into some verses of Oh, When the Saints, because we got to close with that, right? But here's the deal. The sandwich line could get long, so I want some of you to start moving out there. You can still sing, but start moving out there and get our line going. And then head on outside and grab a margarita, grab a Coke, something like that, and just have a good time. So let's rise up and body our spirit, sing our song of peace, and then let's go feast. Now let's really sing, and don't be shy. Don't worry about being the first one to get to the sandwich line. Happy Mardi Gras, everyone.